That in 2023, in a program that's being broadcast to a very large audience in the UK, a nation of animal lovers, that animals are being exploited and abused simply for entertainment, just for laughs. And that's something which is undeniably outdated. We've got rid of circuses, we've got rid of bear baiting, dog fighting, unfortunately, might persist in some circles, but long ago, cockfighting. We don't use animals for entertainment anymore. Even when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, so we had chimpanzees dressed up for tea parties. It's all gone. Why is this persisting on this one program? There were plenty of other ways that they could introduce means of testing their participants, setting them difficult trials, which could be equally amusing for those who will laugh at animals being abused, and they could easily be replaced. My request is no more than that. It's a request I've been making along with, I have to say, an increasing number of people, tens of thousands of people, if not more, every single year. No, I'm talking about both. I mean, certainly when it comes to the live animals, ITV are very keen to say that they have inspectors and handlers on site which make sure that the laws are being applied when it comes to the treatment of those animals. I suppose there are plenty of us who say those laws are not strict enough and those animals didn't ought to be allowed to be treated in that way. But these laws generally only apply to what we might call the higher animals in old speak. So things like mammals and perhaps some of the reptiles too. But certainly the invertebrates don't seem to be protected by any of that, and many of these animals are being killed for the show. Now, in 2019, the bushtucker trials phased out feeding people live animals. So, as you saw there in that clip, those mealworms, which were part of a pizza, were dead. The beef I have with this, if you'll forgive the pun, is simply that we are stereotyping these types of animals. We are reinforcing stereotypes that essentially, if we call them bugs, are bad things. They're unpleasant things. Kay, as you know, bugs make the world go round. Without them, we wouldn't be surviving. So reinforcing these stereotypes about what are hideous animals, whether it's toads or snakes or rats or so forth, is not helpful in any way, shape or form when we're in the midst of a biodiversity crisis. And many of us are struggling to do everything we can to protect life, not to ridicule it, exploit it, and abuse it. It's about presentation, isn't it, really? If we are moving towards eating insects, and certainly there are pet foods I know now that you can buy in the UK, which are made of insect protein, that's something that we should be exploring. We can't continue to eat the amount of meat and produce meat as we are at the moment in the world. That we know that's an environmental given, so we've got to cut back. Globally, we've got to cut back, but it's about the way it's presented. These insects are not being used here as a protein substitute for anything else. There's no shortage of meat that they could those pizzas. They are simply there for entertainment. And I think that laughing at animals at a time when a significant percentage of the world's population of animals are in danger of extinction is inappropriate. I and my colleagues spend all of our time trying to engender a respect for life, all life, everything that creeps, crawls, slithers, and slimes, because we know that we have to protect that life. And this program countermands that.